Happy Wednesday to you. Super excited today talking on the topic of success. I get quite excited about this sort of stuff, as you can probably tell, and I'm quite excited to share this with you today, my thoughts on success, because I spent a fair amount of my life, 3 years or 4 years, researching this idea of success and how I define success. And that's really what the project was for me, is to figure out, what does this all mean? What is life all about? What is success? And I suppose personally I had a couple of moments in my journey. One which ended my retail. I was in executive retail leadership roles, and I ended my career there, and I felt this moment where I was just like, what the heck am I going to do now? You know, you ever had one of those moments? So that was a fairly defining moment for me. And then I started a new career in a new industry, and it was quite exciting. I was passionate about it, and for a few years I did it, and I did it very well. But there was this one day, and I remember I was out in the streets, and I just stopped, and I thought, what is the meaning of all this? What does this all mean? And is this how I see myself when I'm 50 years old, when I'm 60 years old? And that really led me on this personal development journey, this journey to starting my podcast, The Hidden Why, and researching the kind of like the meaning of life, I suppose. And it really revolves around the idea of success, which is why I think it's important to define success. Now, I wrote a book, and I spent a fair bit of time writing this book, The Ultimate Life Map. Not the best bit of work, but still my bit of work, and I'm very proud of it. And in there, I share the Ultimate Life Map, and it's a bit of a diagram that I sort of walk throughout the book. And as I studied it, and I've researched it, and I read a lot of books, and I spoke to a lot of people around the world on these topics, that's how I created it. And based on my research, I define success as the level of happiness you have in life. And not only happiness, but the freedom, fulfillment, and happiness. So those three pillars, happiness being sort of at the top rung of that. And success can be defined by the level of freedom you have, the level of fulfillment you have, the level of happiness you have in life, and being content with whatever that level might be. I think one of the things that we get frustrated with, and we cause ourselves a lot of anxiety and upset and sadness and depression, is that we're not content with what we've got right now. But we can improve on these fundamental three things. And I talk about that, and that's what I want to talk about that today, because I said success is kind of like, how do you define it, and then what do you use to guide you towards greater success? When I talk about success, I talk about those three things: freedom, fulfillment, and happiness. And then what can we do to guide ourselves towards greater success? There's actually 6 pillars that I talk about. 3 I'm going to touch on today. And the first one is health. The second one is growth. And the third one is love. I actually started off calling it relationships, so you can see them down here. And these are fundamental for these 3 things to exist in our life. So if you want success, you need to have a good level of health in your life. You need to have a good level of growth in your life. And you need to have a good level of love in your life. And I think if we can have a good amount of those in balance every single day in our lives, you're going to have a greater level of success, a greater level of freedom, fulfillment, and happiness. Now, this is just an exciting topic for me, and like most of people that love self-improvement and self-development, we love to share it as well. And the reason why we love to share it is because I really believe it's helped me in life, and by sharing, I hope it can help other people as well. Now, you might be all across all this stuff already, and that's fine. But for me, being conscious of health, what is it daily? And again, I'm not perfect in this area. You know what they say, it's like the juggling plate theory. Sometimes we've got really good health, but our relationships or our love segment is down. Sometimes we might have great growth, but we're not really focusing on our health. And I've experienced that, and I'm sure you have as well. You've got great success in your business, but your health has deteriorated, or your relationships has deteriorated. So really, success, being freedom, fulfillment, and happiness, is about trying to find balance in all the segments. So every day, what can you do to focus on health? What can I do today? And it's going to be different for each of us, depending on what the level is that we're at and what the level it is that we want to go to. So that might mean a 5-minute exercise routine. It might mean for some going on a 10K jog. Whatever the case, what does health look like for you today? That's not just exercise. It's also what you consume. You know, your mental health, your physical health. what you consume externally, the motivational stuff that you consume. Are you just watching news every day? What could you do to change your mental energy? And that could be just by switching off the news and reading a inspirational book instead. It could be listening to a podcast. And it's also about the food that we consume as well. What are we consuming? What's really nourishing us? And how is that making us feel? You'll notice through health how you feel. Right now, I'm feeling a little bit fatigued, to be honest. So I know I need to focus on my health a little bit more. So health is very important. Growth. I think this is one that I missed for many, many years. You know, I always thought that school was school and that's growth. That's where you learn. And then after that, it's over. But growth is something that we can continually build on. We can continually do daily. And that could be anything. It could be growth in learning something new that excites you. I'm not a big football fan, but right now I'm trying to learn AFL and understand the sport a bit better. And look, it doesn't mean much to me, but it fills me with a little bit of joy. And that's really important towards freedom, fulfillment, and happiness in life and my success in life as well. So growth can be anything. It can be just trying to improve in your workplace. What can you do at work to take you up that next level? And again, we often think about growth and we go, okay, well, I want to be better overnight. It's the little things. It's the 1%ers that are going to make the big difference at the end of the year, at the end of the 10-year mark, at the end of your career, at the end of your life. It's the 1%ers that will make the big difference. And growth really does provide fulfillment in life, and it will make you happier as well. And the final one, relationships, love. I think it's really important to have people around us, and we all have people around us. Some are very much social butterflies, some are introverted. Whatever the case, being connected with people is fundamental. And they've had research on this. The one study that I really enjoyed was about this Italian community in America, and they lived the longest. In any community in America, they seem to have the longest lifespan. And they tried to figure out why. And one of the fundamental factors that they found was that Italian community, they were always interacting with one another, walking down the street, saying hello to neighbors, stopping in here for coffee. That's just the culture that they have, and it seems to provide reason for their longevity. So love is fundamental, not only for our happiness, but for our longevity as well. So really 3 things I wanted to share with you today. If you're watching this and you'd like a copy of my book, reach out to me and I can organize that for you. Have a great day ahead, and sorry for the long rant. Hope you enjoyed.